88 keys, millions of songs, and countless harmonies. Beyond an instrument, the piano is the ultimate musical storyteller, integral to Los Angeles as a cultural and entertainment capital of the world. From its early days in silent film theaters and jazz clubs, to its prominence in Hollywood soundtracks and concert halls, the piano has played a central role in shaping LA's musical identity. On a special edition of the SoCal Scene, experience the history and tradition of this timeless instrument. Discover one of the oldest pianos, salvaged after a storm. Where can you see it? And before your next flight, one of the most unusual public halls where you can play piano yourself. Plus, meet one of the longest-running hotel piano players with a remarkable legacy. Pull up the bench and take a listen. All on the piano in the SoCal Scene. Let's travel to Larchmont Village, that houses one of the oldest piano stores in LA.
You are in the Kazimov Bluthner Piano Company,
where you can buy, rent, or simply come in and marvel at the pianos played by some of the biggest musicians.
It's the piano my mother says has more names to drop than keys. The very first day out, it went to the Stevie Wonder's 1970 album, Songs in the Key of Life. And since then, we've had it with many, many upon great artists. Olivia Rodrigo, Henry Mancini, the Barbra Streisand Classical Barbara album, John Denver Christmas album, Neil Diamond. This piano here is a very interesting one with honky tonk, playing the piano rags of Scott Joplin. And we have actually an album credit, and it's a multiple Grammy winner. This just arrived.
This is Kirill Kazimov, part of the proud lineage of this family-owned business, a classic mom-and-pop shop.
A long, enduring singing tone. Well, they really built it on their shoulders. In 1963, we started importing pianos with my parents' vision of providing the very best.
His parents experienced the golden age of Los Angeles forming as a major city.
Los Angeles expanded, for the most part, in the car age. For music, and the use of a piano is ever so important. And Los Angeles, we have a full industry of recording arts and performing arts here, as well as composing arts. Sammy Davis Jr. came in. My mother brought him to the back. He wanted to buy a harpsichord. He didn't know what it was. And then we asked him, do you know this brand? He goes, yeah, everybody knows. Bluthner is the best piano in the world. It has a romantic tone with lots of warmth.
The Bluthner piano has always been their calling card. However, the business hit a crossroads in 1997 when his father passed away. The store would endure with his mother, Helga, taking the reins.
And as the oldest piano store continued with the help of my brothers and my mother, who unfortunately cannot be with us most of the time, she's at a care facility.
Kazimov reminisces about his mother's encounter with another old-time legend.
Who walks by us is Paul McCartney, who did the Beatle album, is on Bluthner.
Indeed, their store boasts a who's who list of musicians, but their most recent delivery
Might be a little more interesting. You tell me the angle that you like.
Was maybe the most unique. A piano that has already played its part in the news, even though it barely can be played.
That's suspect.
The story begins on one of the wettest days in recent memory.
California under a state of emergency.
Heavy rain keeps falling in Southern California.
When a mudslide crashes into your house.
It's just completely disintegrating.
It's a very powerful thing to see when the earth moves like that.
The cleanup is underway.
On February 6th, I took a look at the front page of the LA Times. It was quite remarkable. I recognized, I was fairly sure it was a Bluthner piano. I even checked with my mother and we both agreed.
And then he received a call from one of the neighbors affected by the mudslide.
The very next morning, a lady called and said, we have a piano in the mud. I asked her, is that the piano that featured in the LA Times front page? She said, yes. I asked her, is it a Bluthner? She said, yes.
This piano did a body flip off a carport, landed upside down.
All types of debris on the ground, and the piano laying two of the three legs, and its pedal lyre suspended in the air.
Then he got another call to try to rescue and restore the piano.
And he asked if I would come out and see it and be of aid, because they simply didn't want to throw away the piano. He said, "This is a piece of history." That indeed. Well, so happened our piano movers were in the neighborhood. We called them up and they found a way to enter. At the same time, it's rather precarious. How do you pick up a piano? Laying in the mud, and it was on a slope. Well, being that DWP was there with their trucks anyway, and one of them had a crane on it, they put it onto the truck and brought it here right to our showroom. And we immediately put it into our patio. So this here is the body of the lid, where we examined it and considered what to do with it. And it was still wet. And you could actually see it's a little bit warped. It's remarkable how that it survived. All the parts were fundamentally there. The legs and end pieces. Oh, look at that. We have some hammers missing here, of course. And here's remnants of a hammerhead here. But, it was very sad to see it.
The hope was to restore it to its former glory to sound like this. But with only so much they could do with this.
The damage you see here is quite extensive. Lid deck was broken off. It lost the strut, and that's where it lays in. That would take a lot of work and a lot of ingenuity to bring it back. It's heavily compromised. Nature brought it to us, we helped compose it, and nature took it away from us.
So in turn, the nature of this piano would turn into something quite different.
It wouldn't be so much as a restoration as, let's say, a part reinvention.
A reinvention into a different and rather distinct instrument. Now, piece of art with its own name.
The Storm Bluthner. It seems at its most unique as it is in its state. This is Beverly Glen Canyon mud, and we just left it on there. It's reminiscent of the time at the moment and the journey the piano had taken and such. And we have it sitting here in the front window of our showroom here on Larchmont.
And I saw this thing and I thought it was wasp's nest in a piano. I thought that's what they were showing, and I did a double take when I said, no, it's dirt and mud and all that.
There are a good number of visitors that come by and see this. They're of course most welcome. Not one string broken.
Isn't that amazing?
That's
German engineering.
So, yes, it's very inviting to look at and discover.
And the felts are actually...
The felts are still there.
It's a miracle. I mean, it really is. This
Yeah.
thing, it's the phoenix, man.
Yeah. And here is the serial number, 12026. So it was built in 1875.
No.
Yeah. 47 years after Beethoven died.
You've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
The things that this piano has
Oh,
seen. I mean,
I know.
like no other
I
piano
know.
in the world has seen this
Yeah.
or heard.
That's right.
What made the story even more intriguing, the piano has deeper history.
I later found out that it would belong to a great opera singer, Melissa Corgis, and she sang for the Berlin Opera House. It seems that she would have brought it with her from Europe to here.
And it was here in 1938, where she was nominated for an Academy Award as Best Supporting Actress for her performance in The Great Waltz, a film on the life of famous composer Johann Strauss, leading many to reflect on how many times she played his classic waltz, the Blue Danube, on the keys of this piano. To see what her piano might have looked like before its mud bath.
So this piano here is somewhat similar to the Storm Bluthner. The legs, the pedals, the underbracing, without the mud and the destruction, of course.
But for all the hours and hours of time it took on this project, we asked Kazimov one final question. Why was this ultimately worth it?
My mother said it best. Well, because it's a Bluthner. And she said it with a beautiful smile. It's still in the air. That's great to compose with and sing.
Still to come, meet a hotel piano player who has become a cultural treasure in LA, and some of the best spots to experience pianos around town, along with one of the most unusual places you can play at. The Piano in the SoCal Scene returns after this.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.